Finally, Five Nights at Freddy fans, we have an actual teaser trailer for a movie that was announced about 8 years ago. Oh, it is a glorious day to be a FNAF fan. I need you to hit that like button to celebrate, because what we're going to be doing here is analyzing the first teaser trailer for the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. I'll also be diving into the new posters that they just released for the film. In fact, I was doing a whole separate video on those because I was not expecting the full teaser trailer to come out today. I'll be diving into all that here, but it's not just going to be about my opinion. I need to hear from you Five Nights at Freddy movie fans. What do you think about this first teaser trailer? I know some people were hoping it was the full 2-minute 20-second trailer that leaked a couple weeks back. Let them build up hype, okay? I like that they're trying to regain what they lost with that leaked trailer. Alright, so the first thing we gotta dive into here today is the heart attack that happened to me when Jason Blum tweeted. As you know, he is the head of Blumhouse, and whenever this boy tweets, he just gets bombarded with messages about Five Nights at Freddy's, regardless to what it's about. He could have announced his grandmama died, and people would have been like, sucks, but when's that Freddy trailer coming out, Blum? Sometimes we can be so heartless when we want things, but I would do the same. But it was, of course, our first official poster with all the characters round up together in one. Here you go, looking at it now with the tagline, "Can you survive Five Nights at Freddy's?" With the release date of October 27th of this year. Pretty snazzy poster, okay? In my honest opinion, wasn't exactly what I was expecting. I do like the purple hue, although I associate animatronics and purple hue more with Willy's Wonderland. Gotta admit, that poster was pretty fire. But here, this still looked pretty great here, having them all lined up. A lot of fans have mentioned that this is pretty reminiscent to the second FNAF games lineup here. You even have Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica. So they have that same lineup there. But these appear to be the actual physical animatronic suits, and they just kind of really drown them in maybe some visual effects, Photoshopness, making it look almost fan-made. Because that seems to be the biggest complaint amongst fans, is that this just looks like a fan-made poster made online to trick you while you're scrolling through your Facebook timeline. So for the most part, I would say the community are enjoying these posters, but there is a handful of people that find them to be looking a little cheap. I think maybe they could have done something better, but I mean, this is kind of what we should be expecting with the FNAF movie. It's gonna have that semi-cheap feel. Not really a bad thing, but that's just the route they've decided to go with the movie to make it more profitable so it could earn a lot more money, and that way it can survive being released in theaters and on streaming the same day. But with talk of the posters now out of the way, let's finally dive into the teaser trailer here and break it down. I did do a trailer reaction. If you're curious about that, I posted it on my YouTube shorts, so you can find that on my channel page there. If not, I also posted it on TikTok. But as far as things go with this teaser trailer, it was only 45 seconds long, and honestly, I liked it. It did what it needed to for me. Build up that little hype and anticipation. I like the bits of footage they decided to reveal. We don't know too much about the plot, yeah, but there was enough in here to get us really salivating and speculating what they might be changing from the games. So to start things off here, we are greeted with an old school employee video training the security guard for Five Nights at Freddy's. Now, the interesting thing you'll know about this training video is it was supposed to be supplied when the Freddy Fazbear Diner was actually open to the public, because in modern day, once the movie begins, the place will be closed down and not open to the public here, which is why we get this shot of the closed sign and the place looking all worn and torn down. So this training video is just like a nice visual aid to let you know that at one point this place was bumping until a certain incident happens that causes the place to be no longer functional. All of us believing it's gonna be the famous bite in the 80s where a kid got killed by one of the animatronics, and probably a bunch of other kids that went missing around the Freddy Fazbear Pizzeria. I do think they kind of got the aesthetic down of what it looks like in terms of the games and now in live action form. There's something about seeing those animatronics on the actual stage actually moving about when we've seen that in video game form for so long. It's just kind of satisfying. Bringing us now to the first bit of footage of Josh Hutcherson as Mike Schmidt working as the security guard, I'm assuming making sure the animatronics don't leave the place and also that people don't come inside, because the owner of the pizzeria knows they will not be coming out alive here. But before we get into that, we do got to analyze this place a little bit here. I do kind of like the stained glass window of Chica right right here with her cupcake. That's cute. I've already mentioned how the walls and decor look a lot like the game, but you'll also notice a bunch of the kid drawings on the walls. That was something that was very apparent in the Five Nights at Freddy games. Aside from that, we see that he's maybe hearing noises in a place that's supposed to be completely abandoned, causing Mike to peek behind the curtain, where we get, of course, the animatronics in their place. First taking a peek at Bonnie, moving on to Freddy, and then kind of glaring at Chica's cupcake. The next big Easter eggs here that were pretty exciting to finally see in live action form is the security room, where you as the player were usually monitoring the cameras, making sure none of the animatronics were moving. A lot of these camera angles actually match that of the game, and I thought that was pretty cool of them to include that. It's that satisfying feeling that we knew we would eventually see this in live action, but we didn't think it would look this faithful. It's not even just the camera angles that are very faithful, even some of the posters on the wall match that of what you would see in the security room, down to the dang fan. A lot of these details mean a lot to the fans and get them excited. General audiences are just gonna think, oh, that's a regular poster. To Five Nights at Freddy fans, they're like, the poster! I unintentionally find this little moment kind of funny, where we see Mike just kind of look around and Freddy just kind of peeks off to the side. There have been so many memes over the years with Freddy Fazbear. It's kind of hard to take him seriously now as an actual threat, but man, do they tease some actual threatening moments in here. Speaking of which, this one here of Mike Schmidt getting strapped down to a chair mechanically while the inside of an animatronic suit has been fitted to kind of kill him. It's hard to tell from the inside of this animatronic which one it's supposed to be, but this is something that kind of happens in the games. It's usually called getting scooped. Where in the sister location games, those animatronics there were kind of built to purposely scoop inside a person and kill them within the animatronic. That feels a little bit of what's going on here, and that's kind of a messed up situation, but it makes you wonder, you know, who created this? This definitely feels like a William Afton invention. We also get some shots here of Abby, a new vital character into this movie that's going to be the little sister for Mike Schmidt. From an official plot synopsis, we found out that Abby is going to be taken to work with Mike because he's just low on options. He doesn't have anybody to babysit her, so he decides just to take her to work with him. And I know a lot of people were like going crazy thinking, why would he want to do that? He's so crazy. Really think about that. You get a job at what's essentially a Chuck E. Cheese place. That's like a fun palace for a kid. Why wouldn't you bring your little brother and sister and tell them, go mess around in the ball pit while I do my job? That's like a Big Brother award, but he obviously doesn't know there's killer animatronics in there. But based on the official photo that's released, it looks like she's gonna form a very special bond with Freddy Fazbear and the other animatronics. Being that they're the souls of dead children, they might look favorably into Abby and want to protect her, or heck, they might want to make her one of them and put her inside one of the animatronics. Another new character that really wasn't in the first couple of Five Nights at Freddy games is Vanessa. She's gonna be playing a police officer, a lot of us thinking she's some sort of version of Vanessa from Security Breach, when it looks like she will just be the person to inform Mike of the Freddy Fazbear Pizzeria and why it's not as innocent as it seems. One really interesting shot we get here is of Mike in the woods with a bunch of children. These most likely will be the dead kids that are haunting the animatronics. If you look at the one with bunny ears, that's most likely going to be Bonnie. We have here a kid in an orange shirt with a hook hand. That's going to be Foxy, since Foxy usually has his hook hand. I'm going to assume the little girl over here wearing yellow is going to be Chica, as that is just a matching color scheme. Brown over here, most likely Freddy Fazbear, and then that's kind of where it leaves us up to who this other kid could be. Your guess is as good as mine, but in the Five Nights at Freddy's game lore, Mike usually has a younger brother where he has a traumatic past with. In the games, it was him accidentally getting his brother killed by jokingly putting him in the mouth of an animatronic that crushed his head, the Bite of 83. We're still not sure if they're gonna do that exact same storyline or maybe something different. Heck, fans don't even know if they're gonna play up the whole family angle and make Mike Schmidt related to William Afton in this movie. And well, speaking of William Afton, finally in the flesh, our purple guy who is no longer purple, the main antagonist and evil man behind Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. Mathew Lillard playing William Afton, the co-owner of Freddy Fazbear's. He's most likely going to be the one hiring Mike, purposely giving him a crappy job that he knows is most likely gonna make him end up dead. We get a different shot here of another security guard that looks like he's about to become dead meat. I feel like this could be one of the openings of the movie or an explanation to why the security job position is open. For all we know, William Afton could be specifically picking lowlifes with not much family or anything to lose because he knows they won't survive the job and nobody will come looking for them. But I'm definitely intrigued to see how the movie's gonna handle the William Afton side of things. From here, we get another cool shot of what I'm thinking are maybe Foxy's feet, but these could also just be the skeleton of the animatronics, being that's what they look like outside of the fuzzy suits, where Abby is hiding in the ball pit. One thing I definitely want to talk about that was a major choice in this movie is giving the animatronic red eyes. I'm not the biggest fan of it here. Now, in the games, there have been some instances where the animatronics are rocking red eyes, but for the most part, it's not a common thing with them. To me, it just feels like the stereotypical cliche thing, evil robotic animatronics, let's make their eyes glow red so it's obvious to the audience that they're bad right now. I'm like, do we really need to do that? They did that with the Child's Play reboot, having his eyes glow red as an evil AI. I don't think it's super needed. I've seen a lot of people mention it just makes them look stoned, and I kind of agree. But again, it's not that big of a deal breaker. It's just a small thing I wish they didn't include. I have seen some people mention that they feel the suits look cheap, and I'm just like, guys, that's the world we live in now. You have gotten so used to CGI things that now when you see practical, real effects, because these were made by the Jim Henson Corporation, now you kind of wanted a full CGI robot so we could add in that detail and movement. I'm actually very happy with the design and the way they look, but yeah, it's gonna look cheap. You gotta remember, these are the same type of puppets you would get at your cheap family diner. They're not gonna look super spiffy moving around. I'm happy with the way these look. Overall, though, that is the teaser trailer here. I'm happy with it just being a teaser now. I'm glad they didn't rush that whole 2-minute, 20-second trailer. Would have been showing too much too fast. I want to know from you guys, what do you think of the posters, the teaser trailers? Leave me all your thoughts down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.